And I guess the other issue, and I say issue, and imagine like italics or apostrophes when I'm saying issue, is the conversation on positional play. And I want to say conversation because I'm not someone who's maresca out. I think that's too premature. You're letting the insecurities get to you. You've not seen anything yet. We're allowed to be a little bit bad in patches. You don't expect our trajectory to just only be highs after highs after highs. Not with this squad. And not when we're younger than the average age from last season. Don't be expecting that. But it's more of a conversation. I like you guys to get involved in the comments so we can talk about things. That's what I like in this community. I think there's a lot of great comments and a lot of great conversations that go on. But I guess for myself, because I've seen this game so many times, I think the issue you have with positional play style of football is that you create a game state. You create this game state where you're forcing the opposition into doing one thing, which is putting men behind the ball and shutting out spaces. Lincoln City tonight using a 5-4-1. Many teams have used 5 at the back and 4 midfield against us, and it's really, really nullified a lot of anything we can do. It doesn't help when you can't rely upon the system breakers like Cole Palmer and Joao Pedro. It doesn't help that this is the first time a lot of these guys are even playing together. It doesn't help when you can maybe add in things like pre-season inconsistencies in terms of fitness and the fact that, you sold all the guys that understood the system last season to sign younger guys who need more time to get to grips with the system now. So you can see why it created conditions like this for the first half what we saw, right? I think that's fair. But to continue my conversation on positional play, you create this game state where you force the opposition to constantly just put men behind the ball. And this is why it creates these really lethargic, boring, sideways, inept type of performances, because you're basically only playing a game then to find a breakthrough against a compact defense. No other game state exists. You're not going to see a game state where maybe, there's going to be like a counter attack that opens the game up, or nice bits of combination play from, pushing men up, winning a 50-50 and getting a breakaway or transitional moment. Or you're not going to get things from like a cross from out wide that's played early to catch someone out. You're not going to get many of those different game states that you typically see other teams do. And this is the issue that I see all the time. It's very one note. It's very one-dimensional. And the reason why I'm having this conversation is that it's a quick plug, but on my other channel, Nini FC, which I would love if you guys show some support with that. I'm doing some really big content I'm really proud of, but sadly, the algorithm's not really helping. I'd love if you guys can maybe show some love to see what I'm doing. But I do a series called This Week in the Premier League where I break down all the trends that we've seen every week. And one trend that's been very prevalent this season is teams playing a lot more direct now. This is why you're seeing things like the long throw becoming a new meta now. Trying to gain marginal, incremental improvements in the team. And it's essentially like taking another corner if you have guys to have the long throw ability in their locker, right? But the trend this season has been direct play. You've seen the most headers scored in how many years in the Premier League. It reminds me of the early 2000s a little bit. You're seeing a lot of goals scored in breakaways. You're seeing a lot of teams that have possession, or actually who are given possession, struggle to turn those games into wins for themselves. And I guess for this conversation, my fear is, okay, maybe fear's strong, but my thought at the moment, something I'm pondering over, as I do, I ponder on this football stuff. Are we potentially setting ourselves up for failure by backing a dated way of playing? Maybe that sounds a bit too harsh. I don't think the positional play thing is done and dusted. Absolutely not. And as we've seen, against PSG and many other teams, it does create a lot of these transitional direct moments, for sure. For sure. I don't think it's a dinosaur, But it is interesting that teams now are focusing more on not dominating the possession battle. I think it comes from the fact that today, man, players are so fit. Yeah, managers are much better now. Even the way coaching is at the grassroots levels is different. It's a lot more about teaching control and game states and, robotic footballers who know what to do when and where. A lot of teams now, if you want them to defend for 2 hours, they can do that and you'll struggle. And the thing is, we can go to a Lincoln City and still have a difficult game state because we've reduced the dimensions of possibilities down to just finding breakthroughs against a team that is sitting back behind the ball. That's just purely sitting back behind the ball. And it does feel a bit paradoxical because, especially in that first half, it doesn't really matter about the individual quality that you have because it's not about the individuals on the field. It's about like the nucleus of the team, like how they all are just this like faceless NPC that is just positional play. And, the moment someone breaks down anything for the team, things can fall apart. And we look quite susceptible to anything direct, anything 50-50, long balls, early deliveries inside the box. You're not seeing that normal bit of control that you would like to see against an opposition like this. For myself, I don't always see the utility behind playing this style against an opposition that's inferior. Let's keep it real. Because it's mad that this way of playing can kind of paradoxically give hope to your small Lincoln Cities and co. Because you just limit them to all they can do, right? Long balls, direct play, balls over the top, fighting for any lost cause. It's an interesting one. I think against this type of team, and you have the player quality and abundance on your side, you simply let that shine through a bit. That's the type of balance I would like to see a little bit, yeah? Let the quality shine through. It's easy. You just have a fullback overlapping with one of the wingers. Instead of finding fullbacks in positions where the attacking mid should be in, or an attacking player should be in, it does feel like maybe there's no utility behind this way of playing at times. And when I say at times, I mean against this level of team or when they're that much worse than you. I mean, even last season, bro, against your relegation favored teams, we only just beat those teams by a goal. And it was a slogfest and we did struggle. I think the positional play stuff is phenomenal as a big game tactic, 100%. We've seen the results of that. It gives you more protection in midfield, more support in the wide areas, and the games open up. But the moment the spaces are gone, it just doesn't look effective enough. And that's like the conversation I want to end this video on. I know it's a bit of a long-winded answer. I hope you guys have stood with me. But I like to have this conversation to get like a variety of views on how you guys are feeling about it and how you're not. But that's everything that I can say on the matter. As I'm saying, by controlling the game state so heavily, we make every game a tactical grind. And even against the small teams, as I keep saying, you force the ops into survival modes. And, in that survival mode, only rare breakthroughs matter for them. And I just think this is why, we don't get that inspiration from these performances. So yeah,